Today we were going to discuss the biology class, biology topic, that is cell. In the previous class we have studied the first one, so let's finish this one fast. So in the previous class we were discussing about the cell, and we have discussed a lot about the cell membrane, and we have discussed about the cell membrane, and we have discussed about the plasma membrane. Okay, we have discussed about the osmosis, diffusions. We have discussed. Okay, so what is diffusion? The diffusion means that there is no semi-permeable membrane is being required. Okay, we need to simply, what we need to do is there is no means the object or the particles move from higher concentration to lower concentration by their own. We don't require actually the any semi-permeable membranes. Okay, the whole components move, whether it's a solute or the solvent, the whole component is going to move across until the concentration of both the sides becomes equal. But in case of osmosis, we need the only the solvent particles moves, only the liquid, mainly water. Solvent is water generally, so only the water moves across the membrane. Okay, from higher concentration to lower concentration, from a region of higher concentration to the lower concentrations. And this is the result that due to the osmosis, there are certain types of means changes takes place in our cells. Okay, so water and minerals, gases generally enters the cells and leave the cells by the diffusions and the osmosis, and through the osmosis the water transportations take place inside and outside the cells, and the minerals also takes place. Okay, so we were discussing this ones, and we have discussed the hypotonic solutions, isotonic solutions. We have discussed the hypotonic solutions. We have discussed. Okay, so we have discussed these solutions. Okay, all types of solutions, and the notes I have sent it to you. These are same notes that I have sent to you. Okay, so let's talk about the cell wall. We have talked about the cell wall. What actually the cell wall is? Cell wall is I have taught you that the cell wall is the outer membrane, that is present, or we can say that in the plant cell, that is present in the plant cell only. Okay, and it is absent. It is absent in animal cells. It is absent in animal cells. Okay, the cell wall is rigid, strong, porous, and non-living structures we have talked about. Okay, and it is made up of cellulose and hemicellulose. What is cellulose? Cellulose is a we can say that it is a compound of hydrocarbons in which generally carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen is present. Okay, and this is generally present in this cell wall. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. In plants and generally it is made up of cellulose, but in fungi plants, cell wall is also present, and in that one the cell wall is made up of chitin. Okay, or we can say it's chitin, chitin, chitin. Okay, so this one, let's move further talking about the cell wall. So we were talking about, we have discussed the cytoplasm also in the previous class. Let's talk about the nucleus now. Okay, let's talk about the nucleus. Nucleus is very important, or I can say that it is very important functional part of the cell that decide whatever the cell is going to perform its functions. It is controlled by the nucleus. Okay, actually it is not controlled by the nucleus. Nucleus is a sphere like structures that is present inside the we can say that inside the cell, and inside the cell, inside the nucleus, there is some special genetic material is present, we call it DNA, and in that DNA the we can say that the genetic information is stored. So let me explain you with the help of a video. Okay, let me explain you this one with the help of a video. Let me return to the meetings. Okay, so maybe I need to share a meetings. Okay, okay, wait a minute. So this is a.
There are two.
Have you is
broad
is the voice
categories
is
of
clearly
cells.
audible to you?
The first
Yes,
category
sir.
is eukaryotic cells.
Tell me, beta, is the voice of the video is clearly audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me explain this one. Okay, let me explain this one. So we are talking about the eukaryotic cells. What is eukaryotic cells? Eukaryotic means, what does the word eukaryotic means? First of all, we need to discuss this one. The word eukaryotic means, dear students, the complete, or I can say that the word eukaryotic means true nucleus. Okay, so whenever we are discussing about the nucleus, okay, we are having something true. Karyote means what the word karyote means. That word karyote means actually the nucleus. Okay, so when we are saying that eukaryotic cells, okay, eukaryotic cells. So what the word eukaryotic means, complete nucleus. Okay, so whenever we are saying that eukaryotic cells, so it means a well-defined cell that is going to have all the cell membrane, cell organelle, well-defined cell organelles are present. Okay, they have the proper membrane there. Okay, and they have everything that cell is going to have. Okay, so let's talk about it further.
They have organelles, which include the nucleus and other special parts. Eukaryotic cells are more advanced, complex cells, such as those found in plants and animals.
Means these cells are generally present in the plants and animals, not in the those organisms that have well-defined mechanism, like we human beings have a lot of eukaryotic. Means generally all the cells are eukaryotics in our body. Generally the complete cells are present. We say that the complete means there should be a mitochondria there must be a nucleus, there must be the Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, and there must be the Golgi bodies here. Okay, we have the cytoskeleton, nuclear membrane bonded regions we have. So this, what we can say that here we have everything, every cell organelle means we are going to have a complete cell. Okay, in eukaryotic cells, but in prokaryotic cells we don't have such membrane bonded organelles. Okay, so let's discuss this one.
The second category is prokaryotic cells. They don't have a nucleus or membrane-enclosed organelles. They do have genetic material, but it's not contained within a nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are always one-celled, or...
Okay, first of all, we have that we are the multicellular organisms, and we are going to have a large number of cells. Okay, if our multicellular, that it simply means that we are going to have the eukaryotic cells only. Okay, we are not going to have the prokaryotic cells. But prokaryotic means pro. What does the word pro means? Pro means pehle, before. Okay, before. And karyot means nucleus. Okay, so when I'm talking about the prokaryotic cells, it simply means that before nucleus. Okay, it simply means that before nucleus. So it is important that we must understood this one in great detail, that the prokaryotic cells are those cells that are going to have we can say that are going to have DNA. They are going to have DNA. Yes, Muradullah.
So what is the meaning of eukaryotic cell?
Eu means pro, means after, you can say the after nucleus or complete nucleus. Okay, and pro means before. Okay, after the nucleus, or we can say the complete nucleus. Okay, and here we have the DNA is present. I've told you that if I'm talking about the cell, then it must have the 3 parts. Every cell must have 3 parts. One is the cell membrane must be there. Cell membrane must be there. Second one is it must have we have cell membrane. The cell must have cell membrane. Second one is the genetic material like DNA that there must be, and the third one is we can say that cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid that is present inside the cell. These 3 things are common in all cells, whether it is a prokaryotic cells or whether it is a eukaryotic cells. All these 3 things should be common if I'm considering it as a cell. So DNA must be there in prokaryotic cells. DNA must be there in the prokaryotic cells. Cell membrane must be there and DNA. But what is lacking here? There is no membrane bounded organelles are present. Like mitochondria is not there. Still the mitochondria is there because the cell is still living, but it is not having the membrane, or we cannot say that it is not going to have the boundary. If I'm saying that in this region circle is there that I'm drawing, okay, and if I'm saying that in this region the circle is there, are you finding any circle in this region? Here in this region, are you finding any circle? No, because there is no boundaries present. I have not made any circle here. The boundary is not present. But if I'm saying no, circle is present here, how can you say? You will say that show me. There is no boundaries being there. If I'm saying that here the cell is being shown to you, thus you can say yes, a cell is being shown to us here because it is going to have its boundary. So whenever a substance is going to have, or an object is going to have its boundary, it is visible. But it does not mean that everything that is going to have the boundary that will be visible. Okay, for example, we have if we have paste of tomatoes, okay, paste of tomatoes, we can feel the taste of tomato. But if somebody says me that where is the tomato, so I will not be able to show him that here is the tomato. But since we have grind everything in the paste, like tomatoes, like ginger, so we will feel the taste of the tomato, we will feel the taste of the ginger, but actually where is the ginger, we cannot find it because it is being crushed. So in the similar way, the membrane bounded organelles are not there. So we can simply say that the Golgi boundary is mitochondria is absent, but actually they are present. But since the membrane is not there, membrane bounded organelles are not there, so membrane is not there, so we can simply say that no, they are not present, they are absent. So we can say that the cell organelles are absent. But still some ribosomes, like we can say that there are some ribosomes are present, ribosomes. Okay, so some ribosomes, that these ribosomes are also membrane less organelles that are present in the we can say that in the prokaryotic cells also. Okay, so let's move further.
Unicellular organisms, such as bacteria. So what are organelles? Organelle means little organ. Organelles are the specialized parts of a cell that have unique jobs to perform. Let's start with the nucleus, the control center of the cell. The nucleus contains DNA, or genetic material.
Okay, the nucleus, what does the
DNA.
nucleus, what does the nucleus contain? This is called DNA. DNA is a genetic material that is present inside this nucleus. Okay, this is the DNA, this is the DNA, or we can say that these are the DNA molecules. Okay, and this is still, I can say that these are coiled here. Simply the shape of DNA is like something like this, somewhat similar to like this. Okay, you have seen this one in your books or somewhere. The DNA is something like this. Okay, we have the single strand DNA and we have the double strand DNA. Okay, so this is the DNA that is going to responsible for the information. Whatever the cell is going to perform its function, actually that is stored in DNA. That is going to store in DNA. So I can simply say that DNA is responsible. I can say that DNA is responsible for carrying the genetic informations of the cell. Whatever the cell is going to perform its function, it is stored in the DNA. DNA is only the genetic material. For example, if a cell is going to divide, this is a cell A. Okay, and we have the nucleus, and inside there is DNA. Okay, so whenever the cell is going to divide, what will it do first? Whenever it is going to copy its one, so what will it do first? It will copy its DNA, because when the cell A divides into two cells, A and B, sorry, yeah, we can say the C and D. Okay, so whenever the cell is going to divide, A is going to divide into C and D, then what will it do? It must copy its DNA. It must copy its DNA, so that when the cell is being divided, or when it is being produced, then it must have some functions to perform, and that function is controlled by DNA. So I can simply say that DNA is the genetic material that is going to I can simply say that is going to whatever the cell is going to perform its function is stored in DNA, and that is responsible for performing different activities, okay, in the cells.
Dictates what the cell is going to do and how it's going to do it. Chromatin is the tangled, spread out form of DNA found inside the nuclear membrane.
These are the chromatin. What is chromatin actually? Chromatin is we can say that when a series of DNA coiled together, okay, they form a chromatin molecules. Okay, they form a chromatin molecule, and these chromatin molecules start forming the thread-like structure called. These are the thread-like structure. These are called the chromatin. Okay, so we have the coiled DNA inside these. These are the these structures is going to have DNA. Okay, and these are coiled together. These are joined together in a thread-like structure called DNA. Okay, so this is the chromatin. chromatin material. And then let's move further.
When a cell is ready to divide, DNA condenses into structures known as chromosomes. The nucleus also contains a nucleolus, which is a structure where ribosomes are made. After ribosomes leave the
Okay, so if I'm talking about here that what is ribosomes? Ribosomes are being synthesized here inside the DNA. Let me take the different colors. Let me take the white color. Okay. So if I'm talking about the ribosomes, so ribosomes are the single cell organ, we can say that ribosomes are the molecules that are little cell organelle, okay, which is membraneless, okay, and they are responsible for the protein synthesis, for the synthesis of protein actually, and where they are synthesized inside the nucleus, and inside the nucleus there is a place, or there is a substance, or we can say that we called it nucleolus. Okay, so the nucleolus is responsible actually for the synthesis of ribosomes, and these ribosomes are responsible for the production of protein. So Miradullah, can I ask you one thing, that how the cell is going to perform its function? For example, we have a cardiac cell, or we have a nerve cell, or we have a kidney cell. Kidney cells is going to perform, or I can simply say that kidney cells, what does the kidney cells generally do? Kidney cells generally help in the filtration of our blood, okay, and they are removal, it helps in the removing of waste products. So it is specially designed to perform that function, kidney cells, okay. So how this the cell of kidney is responsible for performing its function? For example, if I have a cell, and this cell is going to have a nucleus, okay, and if I'm saying that this cell has a special quality of filtration, it can filter something. So it simply means that its DNA is going to command that to this cell that you need to perform this function like this way, okay. Its DNA is going to perform its function. So how can you say that DNA will go and speak, no, you have to do this one, do have the how will they perform such type of functions? Will the DNA go and speak? No, there is no language. DNA is not going to have mouth. It will not speak. So how it will do? How the different functions are being performed by different kinds of cells? How the DNA commands the different organelles of the cells? Do you have any idea? Maridullah, do you have any idea? And Hamna, do you have any idea how the cell perform different functions?
Sir, I think there are some atoms and molecules for different type of works.
Actually, the thing is that this DNA has a different coding. This means this DNA performs different functions by producing different types of proteins in the cells. For example, this ribosomes that are responsible for productions of protein, and these proteins, that the type of protein that these are going to synthesize, okay, which type of protein they are going to synthesize, it is controlled by DNA. If they produce, suppose, a type of protein that is A, and when the protein A is synthesized inside the cell, it will perform, it will start performing the functions of removal of waste. And if it produce a different types of protein, let's B, then it will let the different type of protein B, and that has a different functions of performing, like it might be the transportation of oxygen or something other. Means it is a type of protein that is responsible for performing different functions of the cell, okay, and that is controlled by DNA. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So we have, yes, tell me.
So what will happen if there is no DNA in a cell?
If there is no DNA in the cell will ultimately die. Okay, so we have,
when a cell is ready to divide, DNA condenses into structures known as chromosomes.
Okay, so when the cell is going to divide, actually, when the cell is going to divide, this DNA, this whole genetic material get condensed and form the chromosomes. They form the chromosomes like this way. Okay. They used to condense and form chromosomes. Okay, they used to condense and form chromosomes, and these chromosomes divides when the cell is going to when the cell is going to divide. This whole DNA get condensed and form chromosomes, and these chromosomes actually get divided into two parts, or either there are different types of method that how the cell is being copied. So sometimes the half of this one genetic material will goes from two cells, and then that is being copied, or there are some other different methods, but you need to keep in mind here that whenever the cell is going to divide, whenever the cell is going to reproduce, then during that time its whole DNA get condensed and form chromosomes. So I can simply say that we have the genetic material, that is first is DNA, and then from the DNA we have the chromatin, and from chromatin we have the chromosomes. Okay, got it? Got it?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and inside the DNA, what is inside the DNA is genetic material. Genetic material. So DNA is genetic material. Actually, we can say that inside the DNA is gene. And what is gene? That you will study in the higher classes. So no need to worry here. Okay, so gene, then DNA, then chromatin, and then chromosomes. And then after the chromosome, where is chromosome is present? Chromosome is present in the nucleus. And from the nucleus we have the cell. Okay, where this nucleus is present. Okay, so got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move further.
The nucleus also contains a nucleolus.
Actually, this nucleolus is not present in the prokaryotic cells. Okay, nucleolus is absent in the prokaryotic cells. It is only present in the eukaryotic cells. Okay,
which is a structure where ribosomes are made. After ribosomes leave the nucleus, they will have the important job of synthesizing or making proteins. Outside the nucleus, the ribosomes and the rest of the organelles float around in cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance. Ribosomes may wander freely within the cytoplasm or attach to the Endoplasmic Reticulum, sometimes abbreviated as ER.
Okay, so when this is the nucleus, and from this is the nucleus actually. This is the nucleus, and from this nucleus, the ribosomes are coming outside. These are the ribosomes that are coming. Sometimes means generally they may be continuously floating into the cytoplasm, that is the jelly-like substance. Okay, or dear student, they may stick with the endoplasmic reticulum. This one is the endoplasmic reticulum. This pink colors is the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so this is the endoplasmic reticulum, and when they are stick with this one, they become means if the ribosomes get attached with this endoplasmic reticulum, the surface will become rough. The surface will become rough. When you stick, you will see that these are the rough. These dots has made this surface of endoplasmic reticulum as rough. So we can say that it is rough endoplasmic reticulum. RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum. And where the ribosomes are not sticked, the place where the ribosomes are not sticked, we called it like this way. Here the ribosomes are not sticked, so we called it smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. We called it smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Got it? So what is the rough endoplasmic reticulum? What is the difference between smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum? the endoplasmic reticulum with which ribosomes are attached. Ribosomes are attached. Is called the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the endoplasmic reticulum with which we can simply say that the no ribosomes is attached. The surface is smooth. Then we called it the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And the attached, we can simply say that the membrane or the endoplasmic reticulum with which these ribosomes are attached, they are responsible for the production of protein, synthesis of proteins. Okay, and with which we can simply say that with which no ribosomes are attached. So these smooth endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for the productions of this smooth endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for the production of lipids only. Lipids, no protein in synthesis is taking place here, because the main protein is being synthesized with this, with which one? The main protein synthesis take place with the help of this ribosomes. Ribosomes are responsible for the productions of protein, but the protein which is being produced by the ribosome, it is not usable. It is not in the usable form. The cell cannot use this one. It must be modified. It must be modified, and the modification is done by dear student, is the endoplasmic reticulum. This modification is done by this endoplasmic reticulum. So let's watch and see what happened further.
There are two types of ER. Rough ER has ribosomes attached to it, and smooth ER doesn't have ribosomes attached to it. The endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane-enclosed passageway for transporting materials, such as the proteins synthesized by ribosomes.
Okay, you will see that the protein that is being synthesized here by the ribosome, okay, this is the protein molecule. It is being converted into a ball-like structure called vesicles. We called it vesicle. Okay, so this packaging is done by, you are seeing that this packaging, that the ribosomes are attached with the endoplasmic reticulum here. The ribosomes are attached with the endoplasmic reticulum, and they are synthesizing what they are synthesizing. They are synthesizing the protein, and you find here that these protein molecule is being packed by the endoplasmic reticulum in the form of ball-like structure called vesicles. Okay, so let's check.
Proteins and other materials emerge from the endoplasmic reticulum.
We called it vesicles. This is the vesicle, okay, dear student, and this is a ball-like structure or a sphere-like structure in which the protein molecule is being packed here. So what is the work? This endoplasmic reticulum is helping the packaging it is helping the in packaging of the protein that is being synthesized by the ribosomes, which is attached with the surface of this endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, these ribosome molecules are attached with the endoplasmic reticulum, and the protein molecule which is being synthesized by them, it is being packed and made like this one, and then sent to the cytoplasm of the cell. And this is now further will be sent to the Golgi bodies for further modification, and moreover, dear students, after the modification, they will become in the usable form. Means the cell can utilize it. Usable form. Okay. So this vesicle will reach down to the Golgi bodies, and the Golgi bodies will modify this one and will add some substances that will help these protein in converging, or that will make it to convert it into the usable form, that the cell can utilize this one. Okay, so watch this one.
In small vesicles, where the Golgi apparatus, sometimes called the Golgi body, receives them. As proteins move through the Golgi body, they're customized into forms that the cell can use. The Golgi body does this by folding the proteins into usable shapes, or adding other materials onto them, such as lipids or carbohydrates.
So what the Golgi bodies is doing here, that Golgi bodies is modifying the protein that is being released by the endoplasmic reticulum. Means you were seeing that the endoplasmic reticulum, or RER, is synthesizing the proteins in the form of vesicles, and these vesicles reaches to the Golgi bodies, and these Golgi bodies, what are they doing? They are they are making or making it condensed, or you can say they are adding something like the carbohydrate, like the we have lipids. So lipid is being added to this protein molecule, and the carbohydrate is being added to this protein molecules to make it more advanced, or we can simply say that to make it in the usable form, so that the cell can utilize this one. Because the protein that is being synthesized by the ribosome, it is not in the utilizable form. Like we eat the food, but we cannot digest the food that we eat. We need to digest that one so that it can become simple, and our cell can utilize them. So in the similar way, the protein that is being synthesized by the ribosome, that is not in the utilizable form, that has to go in one or two or three process so that it can be utilized by the cell. Okay, so you can see.
Or adding other materials onto them, such as lipids or carbohydrates. Vacuoles are sac-like structures that store different materials.
Now you got it. What's the functions of Golgi bodies and endoplasmic reticulum?
Yes, sir.
Hamna, you also?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move further. What is the vacuole? So functions of vacuoles. Actually, the vacuoles in plant cells are large in size and small, and in plant cells. Vacuole generally stored water, and that is responsible for providing the shape of the cell. Okay, so in plant cells, large vacuoles are not present. So let's understand this one about.
Here, in this plant cell, the central vacuole stores water. Going back to the animal cell, you will see an organelle called a lysosome. Lysosomes are the garbage collectors that take in damaged or worn out cell parts.
So what is the functions of liposomes? Actually, what is the functions of vacuoles? Vacuoles generally store the water of the cells, and that is generally very large in the plant cells only. Actually, vacuoles are generally very small or absent in the animal cells, because we simply can say that they are very small. They are very small in size if present. But instead of that one, there is a vacuoles are present. Lysosomes are present, and these are also called the suicidal bag. Suicidal bag. These are also called the suicidal bag. Suicidal bag. Why we are calling it suicidal bag? This is simply because if the cell start performing improper, if the cell start performing, or if the cell is not performing properly, or if something is mishappening in the cell, that can damage the other cells also. So what happens is these lysosomes that is containing the enzyme, these are the lysosome molecule that are what they are having right now. They are having the digestive enzymes. Okay, so they have the digestive enzyme present. Okay, they have the digestive enzymes present. They have the digestive enzymes present, and these lysosomes get burst if the cell is you can say that this is like a bomb. Okay, whenever it get burst, the cell will get die, because this is containing some digestive enzymes. When these digestive enzymes is released inside the cell, then the whole cell will get consumed, or the whole cell will get digested. Okay, so they are going to have some digestive enzymes that are responsible. If the cell is these digestive enzymes can digest anything. If the lysosome get burst, then the whole cell will ultimately die, or the whole cell will get digested. Okay, it will consume every cell organelle. So this is going to, we say that this is the suicidal bag. Suicidal bag. So what the functions of lysosome is that it is the garbage collectors. What is it doing? It is actually collecting the garbage from the cells. Okay, it is the garbage here. You see that it is here. It is collecting the garbage, and it will be get digested inside the lysosomes. Okay, and will convert into the soluble forms, and then will thrown out of the cell. So let's.
They are filled with enzymes that break down this cellular debris. The mitochondria.
Got it. What's the functions of lysosomes?
So what are the
Yes, sir.
digestive enzymes, and so what are these are digestive enzymes and
Okay. What are the digestive enzymes? Digestive enzymes is actually fluid like, we can say that these are the proteins. Special enzymes are the special proteins Okay, enzymes are the specialized protein that is responsible for, I can simply say that these are the special protein that are responsible for doing something fast. Okay, for example, if we eat food, we have a special protein enzymes in our stomach, and that is usually helping in the digestion of our food. For example, we have a special enzyme in our mouth, that is salivary amylase that is present in our mouth, and that is responsible for the digestion of carbohydrate. So what the function of enzyme? Enzymes are the biocatalysts. I can say that these are the protein molecules, and these are the biocatalyst that's increases, or we can say that increases the rate of reaction. Means it faster the process. There are some liquids, or we can say that these are the some substance or liquid substance that's generally help in the digestions of something. Okay, that increases the process of digestion. For example, this garbage is being collected, okay, by the lysosome, then this garbage will get digested by the help of this enzyme that is present in the lysosome. These lysosomes are filled with this enzyme, so this will be get. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what are the digestive enzymes are known as in the lysosomes? What are we
There are
called?
There are the different types of digestive enzymes. We have the different names of them. So there is no need to learn it, but you need to keep in mind here that there are digestive enzymes are present in the lysosome, and that are responsible for the digestions of uh, the different parts, or we can say the undigested food or something that is waste product inside the cells. So it is the garbage collector. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
With enzymes that break down this cellular debris. The mitochondrion is an organelle that is the powerhouse for both animal and plant cells. During a process called cellular respiration, the mitochondria make ATP molecules that provide the energy for.
Okay, this is the mitochondria. This is known as the powerhouse of the cell. This is the mitochondria known as the powerhouse of the cell. Powerhouse of the cell. This is known as the powerhouse of the cell actually, and we have the two membranes. This is the mitochondria is going to have the two membrane, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. You have seen this one. This is this one the layer inside this one. This is the another membrane that is present, and this is the coiled membrane. Okay, we call it cisternae. So these are the two types of membrane that has the outer membrane and the coiled membrane. Okay, the outer membrane is so small bit, we can say that is tough, and other one is very smooth. Okay, and these are responsible for the productions of energy of the cells. Means they synthesize ATP. What is ATP? ATP is the energy currency of the cell. Energy currency of the cell. Currency of the cell means we have a country. In a country we have a currency. So what's the value of what's the function of currency? That we can buy something, we can perform functions with the help of currency. In the similar way, cell need a special energy that is called ATP for performing its different functions, and this ATP is performed by this ribosomes by this mitochondria. And one more thing is that mitochondria have its own DNA. It has its own DNA, and it has its own ribosomes. It has an own ribosome. Since it has its own DNA, it has its own ribosomes. It has its own fluid inside the cell. There also fluid is also present. So we also called it. We also called it a simple prokaryotic cell. Means a cell inside the cell. Cell inside the cell, because you know that in the prokaryotic cells we have the DNA, we have the ribosomes, we have the cytoplasm. In a similar way, we also have the DNA in the mitochondria. We also have the DNA in ribosomes. We also have the ribosomes inside it. So since we are having these, so this is also called means we can simply say that this mitochondria is cell inside the cell, inside the cell. And moreover, it is also called semi-autonomous organs. It is also called semi-autonomous organ. It is also called semi-autonomous organ because it has its own DNA, because of its own DNA and ribosomes. Okay, because of its own DNA and ribosomes, this is also called semi-autonomous. Why semi? Because it need not to depend, because it can easily divide because it has its DNA. Moreover, it has its own protein synthesis factory, that is ribosome. So it has its own ribosome. It has its own DNA, so it can survive it. But still, it is not considered as, we are not considering that mitochondria is the functional unit of life, because for some function it need to depends on the outside medium. For some functions, it still need to depends on its outside medium. So mitochondria will not be considered as is not considered as a functional unit of life. It is a part of a cell, or we can say it is a cell inside the cell, a prokaryotic cell inside a cell. Okay, but mitochondria, since it has its own DNA and its own ribosome, so it can easily replicate its DNA. It can easily copy itself, or moreover, it can synthesize its own protein. So we can simply say that it is a semi-autonomous organ. Got it? What is semi-autonomous organ?
Yes, sir.
Got it? Hamna, you also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's move further.
All of the cell's activities. Cells that need more energy have more mitochondria.
It is simple that in plant cells do not require more energy, so the number of mitochondria is less in plant cell. But in animal cells, since the energy requirement is more, so we need more energy. Okay, we can simply say that we need more mitochondria for more energy. So in animal cells, the number of mitochondria is more as compared to the plant cell, because plant cell do not require large amount of energy for performing functions. So mitochondria, large number of mitochondria is present in the animal cells. Okay, so you can see here that you can simply see that here, that this is the mitochondria, that is the coiled structure, that is the inner membrane. Okay, and these are responsible for the productions of ATP. The inner membrane, they have specialized particles here called F0, F1 particles, that you need not to understand this one, no need to keep in mind. But you need to learn that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and it is double membranous organelle cell organelle. Okay, that is responsible for
more mitochondria. Meanwhile, the cell maintains its shape through a cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton includes the thread-like microfilaments, which are made of protein, and microtubules, which are thin, hollow tubes. Some organisms, such as plants, that are photoautotrophic, meaning they capture sunlight for energy, have cells with an organelle called a chloroplast. The chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens.
Okay, this is you simply know that this is a chloroplast, a type of plastic that is responsible for performing, we simply can say that, photosynthesis. Actually, this whole is a chloroplast. Okay, this whole is a chloroplast, and inside the chloroplast we have this disc-like structures that contain chlorophyll, okay, that contain this chlorophyll. And when sunlight's coming from the sun, okay, the sunlight coming from the sun strike here on this region. Okay, this is being absorbed. This like unit, what does this like unit? This like unit absorb the sunlight, and that convert this solar energy into chemical energy, or we can simply say that they convert it into the chemical energy. And when the plants get carbon dioxide, then this carbon dioxide, with the help of the energy produced, is being converted into glucose, C6H12O6. It is being converted into glucose. So what is happening here is that the sun, this is the cell organelle that is called the chloroplast. We simply called it chloroplast. Okay, we simply called it chloroplast. This is the chloroplast. Chloroplast, and this is also double membranous. This is also double, like the ribosomes, like the mitochondria. It is also double membranous. It also has a double membrane, and moreover, it also has its own DNA. It also has its own DNA, and you see that here there's a dot-like structure. Okay, these also have its ribosomes. So the chloroplast is also going to have its own DNA, like the mitochondria, and it has its own ribosomes. Okay, that is responsible for the synthesis of protein. These are the ribosomes molecules. Okay, and what it has some disc-like structure. These are the disc-like structure, and these disc-like structures, what does the function of this disc-like structure? The function of this disc-like structure is that since they contain chlorophyll, you see that the color of these are green. Why the color of these are green? Actually, these are having the chlorophyll molecules. So this chlorophyll is green in color, so that's why they are in green in color. So simply you can say that when the light coming from the sun reaches on the leaves, then this disc will absorb the sunlight and will convert it into the special energy. Okay, and this energy will convert this carbon dioxide into glucose. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This energy will convert the carbon dioxide into glucose, and that glucose is used for performing different functions.
So what are cytoskeleton? What is
Cytoskeleton? Cytoskeleton is simply is a thread-like structure that is going to have, for example, if I'm having this as a sphere as a ball-like structure, okay, and if I don't have something, so this will get like this one. This will get like this one, or the shape of this will become like this one. Okay, means if I have some microtubules, if I have some thread-like structure that do not allow this to come. Okay, when we are having a tent, when we are forming a tent, we are living in a tent. Okay, what we do actually, we have some supports here, we have some support here, we tie this one here, we have a support here. Okay, so we make this support here. So when we are living in a tent, we do this one. Otherwise our tent will comes down and it will not be in the shape of tent. It will not be in the shape of tent. In the similar way, we have some thread-like structure called microtubules and microfibers, and these tubules are they form the cycloskeleton. Skeleton means that, like we have the skeleton of the bones in our body. If there is no bone in our body, the shape of our there will be no shape of our body. We will just a piece of mass or flesh. We will be just a piece of flesh, but this skeleton is going to give the shape of our body. In the similar way, these microfibrils, or we can say that the cycloskeleton is responsible for giving the shape to the cell. Okay.
Some organisms, such as plants, that are photoautotrophic, meaning they capture sunlight for energy, have cells with an organelle called a chloroplast. The chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens. It's green because it has a green pigment called chlorophyll. Plant cells also have a cell wall outside of their cell membranes that shape, support, and protect the plant cell.
I told you about
Animal
this one.
cells never have a cell wall. There are many other unique structures that only some cells have. Here are just a few. In humans, for example, the respiratory tract is lined with cells that have cilia. These are microscopic hair-like projections that can move in waves. This feature helps trap inhaled particles in the air and expels them when you cough.
Okay, what does it mean? Means simply we have a specialized cell. There are different types of cells that is present, like the lungs. Lungs are going to have a specialized cells that we have here in our trachea. Okay, that is going to have some cilia. They bear some cilia. The hair-like projections are present. Okay, like this. The cell is are like this, and when the dust particles comes along with the along with the air, these are being trapped here. These are being trapped here. So what's the function of cilia is that? Cilia is that it protect the dust particles entering the it prevent the dust particle entering the lungs, okay, our lungs, and thus when we cough, these dust particles are exhaled out uh, from the respiratory tract or these from cilia, okay. So these cilia, the thread like structures that is present over the cell, help in I can simply say that these prevent the dust particle entering into the lungs, okay. Got it?
So what will happen if there is no cilia?
Then these dust particle will simply reaches to our it will reaches to our lungs, then it will reaches to our alveoli, and then it will create we can say that the elasticity of the alveoli are the balloon like structure that are present, that are very fine balloon like structures is present in. So the elasticity of these alveoli will get decreases, and we will start getting problems in breathing.
The tract is lined with cells that have cilia. These are microscopic hair-like projections that can move in waves. This feature helps trap inhaled particles in the air and expels them when you cough. Another unique feature in some cells is flagella. Some bacteria have flagella. A flagellum is like a little tail that can help a cell move or propel itself. The only human cell that has a flagellum is a sperm cell. In summary, remember.
So you got it that the what the function of flagella is. Flagella is some tail-like or thread-like structure that comes out of the cell. Generally, bacteria is going to have this one, and this help in the movement of the cell, and only in animal cell. Where was you, Miradullah? Got it? So we can simply say that these are the movement of the cell is done by this flagella, a singular we can say that flagellum, okay. So they may have this a single, like the sperm has
Is like a little tail
only
that
one
can help a
flagellum.
cell move.
A sperm cell only have the flagellum, okay. This has only one
Or
tail-like structure.
propel
Tail-like structure.
itself. The only human cell that has a flagellum is a sperm cell. In summary, remember,
Now you got it, dear student?
eukaryotic cells are plant and animal cells.
Now you got it? You got it, the different functions of different types of cells, different cell organelle. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Can I explain it again? So because my battery of laptop is gone.
Are you saying something, Maridullah?
So can you explain it again?
Which one?
So after
Yeah.
cilia.
After cilia. Okay. 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 So cilia is simply cilia is a simple thread-like structure that is coming outside the cell. That is not coming outside the cell actually. What does it do? Let me explain you here. So this is the cilia, okay, or flagellum that is coming out of the cell. Okay, we have the cilia here. Some specialized cell is going to have some thread-like structure that is coming out of the cell, and these thread-like structures help in trapping the dust particles or removing the waste. We simply can say that they also help in the removing the waste product from entering, or it prevent the entering the dust particle or something that is unwanted to the cell. That it is prevented by the cilia. Okay, so you can simply say
This
that
feature helps trap inhaled particles in the air and expels them when you cough. Another unique feature in some cells is flagella. Some bacteria have flagella.
So this is the flagella. This is the bacteria. They have the some in some cells like bacteria. There's some tail-like structure is present. Then these tail-like structures help in preventing the cell. And we can simply say that these cells prevent these bacteria. Sorry, these cells help in the movement. Yeah, this thread-like structures help in the movement of the cell like bacteria. Okay, so they help in the movement.
Flagellum is like a little tail that can help a cell move or propel itself. The only human cell that has a flagellum is a sperm cell.
Okay, so in the human, there is only one cell, and that is responsible, that help in the movement, or that is going to have the flagellum, means that is going to have a thread like structures, and that is going to have that help in the movement. Okay, so that is the sperm, only the sperm cell that is responsible for the movement of that cells. Okay, so let's move to the notes and let's discuss that one. So here we were talking about the nucleus. Okay, so we have discussed this one. Now we were talking about the nucleus. Okay, this is the nucleus, and we have the membrane. The ribosomes are coming out of this one, and these are called the endoplasmic reticulum, because the ribosomes is being attached to it, and this is called the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this one is the endoplasmic reticulum. This is the nucleolus that we have seen, that is responsible for the productions of ribosomes, that is coming out from these pores, nuclear pores. Ribosomes comes out from these nuclear pores. Okay, so it is the headquarter of the cell, and it is discovered by Robert Brown in 1831. Okay, and in eukaryotic cells only in eukaryotic cells we have well-defined nucleus. The well-defined nucleus is only present in the eukaryotic cell. It is not present in the prokaryotic cells. Okay, so prokaryotic cells can this is absent. Okay, so you can simply say that it is also double layer. It is also double layer covering called the nuclear membrane. Okay, so nuclear membranes have pores which regulate the movement of the these have the pores that we have seen here, the nuclear pore that we have also seen in the video, from which the ribosomes were coming. Okay, so that's all for today. We will be going to discuss this in the next class, these notes, and I have sent these notes to Maridullah and Hamna. I have not received your mail, so I don't know if you need these notes. Please let me know, then I will send it to you. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Hamna, you also?
Yes,
Hamna,
sir.
you understood everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining this class. That's all for today. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.